Hello everybody, this is Chaos with Chaos Esports Productions, No Dice Gaming, and Thunderdog Esports, bringing you game number 1 of this 3rd and 4th place decider match. Armageddon asking whether or not the stream was being watched, but let's go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner in the purple trumps for Crossfire Gaming. It is going to be the Terran player, Raze. And in the upper right-hand corner, not quite making the finals from last game, it is going to be ODacad's Armageddon. Cool. So, we've got Overgrowth Ladder Edition, kind of an interesting map. I actually, out of all of the maps on the ladder pool so far, I gotta say, this is by far probably one of my favorites. King Sejong Station's kind of okay. But this one just has a nice flow to it. You know, your natural's fairly straightforward. You know, it's kind of a little bit more difficult to to wall off this natural compared to other maps, but it still makes for some interesting games. And then obviously you have the opportunity to kind of expand towards your opponent with your third base, or kind of progress along the yellow brick road per se into this third base, and then you can branch off either into a gold base or a nicely tucked away fourth base. So lots of options as far as the game progressions goes. So we'll have to see how it all pans out. Now, usually I'd say most of the time we either see 2-base or 3-base games on this map, or at least that's been my experience. Very rarely do you get into those crazy, I'm going to take the gold base. Usually in these Zerg-type matchups, you'll see that. But so far, things are looking pretty good. Pretty standard opening coming out of Raze is, I'm going to call him Raze. I think Raze makes a lot more sense. Yeah, Raze it is. So, pretty standard opening coming out of Raze, going for that Reaper style play. And actually, we're going to go ahead and see a Scouting SCV, which kind of a little interesting. Usually the Reaper's just enough to get in there, really get an idea of what's going on. But going to fully scout off, double check, make sure that there's no stupid cannons being built in his natural or anything fun like that. As we did see a cannon rush out of Armageddon during the last series. So, Cybernetics core finishing up, and yeah, pretty typical standard build, natural going down for Armageddon. Definitely looking to play more of a late game focused, or maybe even just like a 2-base type timing game with a fairly early natural. Meanwhile, Raze doing kind of the same thing. Kind of interesting, though. That's a really fast engineering bay. That's fascinating. I wonder if this is going to be like a really fast, like 1-1 type timing. We do have a second barracks coming out, so it does look like he's going to be more focused on getting out his Marine Marauder type production. But without a second gas taken. Ah, yes, very fast +1. Called it. We'll have to see if it actually turns into a fast 2-2. But yeah, so things are going pretty normal. Nice scouting information getting out from the Reaper. Pretty much getting an idea of everything that's going on. Ooh, just barely gonna get out there. Holy cow, he's like, OP. Raze is just like, it needs to be removed, whatever. While I do agree that Reapers now are very, very versatile and pretty much shouldn't die, they're still, I think they give the Terran player a lot of versatility in the early game that they didn't previously have. So it does look like Tech Lab finishing up here, probably going to be a really fast, really fast stim. That's kind of what I was thinking. Stim makes a little bit more sense with the +1, just because it just gives you, that much more attack boost when you stim in there. So definitely going to be seeing a more aggressive plays coming out of Raze. And yeah, so pretty typical. Ooh, 4-gate? Oh, money scan coming down, seeing the Dark Shrine and being like, this ain't happening. Sees everything, so that's a little bit of a bummer for him, or for Armageddon, considering obviously DTs can be very, very potent if not dealt with. He's like, holy, that was a good scan. Raze is like, thank you. So Armageddon going to be just so far chrono boosting out probes, not really focusing on getting too many units. Very interesting to see the warp prism play coming out of him. Very similar to the last game that we saw. We do see that he does tend to favor that warp prism play, which is very non-typical compared to most Protoss players. I haven't been seeing a whole lot of it on the ladder personally when I play either matchups, either Zerg or Protoss. So we'll have to see how much damage he can get done with it. Now, granted, we do have Marines precariously perched around the main base, so it does look like things are going to be looking good. Now, and missile turret going down in the natural, so things are looking good. So overall, I think Raze is going to be pretty well prepared for any type of nice little lag. I'm not sure if there is any lag. I mean, I'm seeing 0 frames dropped on my end, so I'm not sure what the deal is. But I will be monitoring that just to make sure. I do have the stream on as well, so I can kind of monitor that also to the side. So if you have any problems with like the audio or anything, let me know, and I can like adjust volumes and whatnot to make things ever so better for you guys, the viewers, because you guys are awesome. So very interesting Archon being warped in. So we'll get spotted. DT is just going to get dropped, and I guess he's trying to trying to do a little bit of distracting. A whole bunch of Marines going to be coming in here. A couple SCVs going to get killed, and actually the DT will get picked off. Granted, he does need to be very careful. There, pylons being warped in here at the front of the natural, and with this many gates coming down, this could potentially be very potent if these Marines actually stay up in the main. A lot more Marines definitely being spread out here. This could be a very deadly attack. We'll have to see how much damage it can actually get done. If you can focus down the missile turret, I think this is like almost GG. I don't think there's really a whole lot that can go down. Charge is finished as well. A couple of Marines going to get picked off, and yeah, it looks like Raze is like, yeah, there are lots of units here. Need to kind of deal with this. Now, I'm really surprised that there are no bunkers down here with no real defenses at the front. This could potentially be deadly. Zealot Archon can be very, very potent. With that first stim and just these first 2 medevacs coming out, Archon's getting a fair amount of damage, and it does look like DT's going to try and get in here. He's going to focus down the missile turret to deal with the detection, but overall, that's looking pretty good for Raze. Gonna go ahead and push in here once again, try and get some more damage done. Archon's getting a lot of damage done. The SCV's trying to get in there, but not really getting a whole lot of damage done because the Zealots are just absolutely massacring them. Zealots coming around here, getting as much damage done as possible, and with all of the Marines now dead, there's not anything here for Raze to do anything. I mean, the add-ons are just now finishing up. We do have concussive shells finishing, but with no, Zealots reigning supreme at this point, it's going to be really, really hard for Raze to get back in here. Big warp in coming in here to the main. I don't know if there's really much Raze can do at this point. I think it's just a very well executed timing push with everything going down. Raze slowing down the game a little bit. I mean, things will get cleaned up here, but I hate to say it, but at what cost? Natural will go ahead and go down, and I mean, I think that's all she wrote. I mean, almost double supply for Armageddon, and things are looking really, really good for him. Granted, he's not really expanding behind this, pretty happily mining on 2 bases, but yeah, with this many Zealots and the Archons, it's just looking pretty rough. Zealot's just like kind of following everything, not really getting a whole lot done. More weapons going, but GG is going to go ahead and get called. Game number 1 will be going to OD Academy's Armageddon, and hopefully we can get into game number 2 as quickly as possible. So